coach, and today we're working with the Inner Voice community, and we are talking about the idea of awareness. The last episode we did, the very first one, was the topic was on kleshas, and so kleshas are the causes of suffering. And so the reason that we want to do this is because when we're trying to find our voice as vocal coaches, I've noticed that people need to talk first, right? You need to get the mouth out of the way. And so there's a distinct difference between the mouth and the voice. And so doing this, gathering in community, having a coffee together. I'm having coffee this morning. Mm. And even if you just hang out later, and if you hold the awareness of what we're doing through your day, you're going to find that like your mind clears, your voice comes better. And yeah, and gathering in community is really important. We're starting to really see people want to look at the world in a different way. Want to even signing up for vocal classes is like an act of great self care. It's like something you're really investing in yourself, doing your yoga, doing your whatever, going to the gym, taking yourself for a walk every day. This self care is really important. So, in the first episode, we talked about the foundational idea that the word klesha, which is a Sanskrit word, and Sanskrit's a really cool language because it can have a direct impact if you speak it properly. It shows us the importance of how we use our words and the sounds we use. But if you say Sanskrit in a specific way, I guess there's people who have real contention about how things are pronounced in what we call Patanjali sutras. And the sutras are like really old wisdom. And I find in times like this that are really up in the air, people are suffering, struggling, people are afraid. It's kind of like we're like at the fall of Rome and and there's internet, so it's a bit crazy. So focusing on these small ideas, like the very first word, just a word for the day, like klesha. A klesha is the causes of suffering. Okay, and there's 5 causes of suffering. And the very first one, and what we're talking about today, is called avidya. And avidya is without avidya, and I don't even know if I'm saying it right. I hope so. I'm using for reference Nikolai Bachman's sutras, which I will link in the comments on our school site. It's a brilliant analysis, but it's also he emphasizes the importance of the way the words are said because the pronunciation can have a direct impact on your biochemistry, on your brain, on how you see things. For example, on 2 days ago when we started our first session, and that's available on the school site, you can sign up for free. When we started our sessions 2 days ago, we talked about causes of suffering. Now, who out there in the world is going around going, "Oh, look, I'm suffering." Even when a day is good, even when things are okay, there's something in you that's always suffering, right? So who's going around the world going, "Wow." Now, when we look at the news and all the stuff happening in the world, a great deal of it, agreed, all of it is happening because people don't understand who and what they are. It's very basic. It sounds so easy and stupid, but if everybody understood what this is and what we can do with it, they wouldn't they wouldn't make stupid decisions and injure the earth and each other. So that's what this we're talking about the causes of suffering. There are 5. The first one is avidya, which is today what we're talking about. So this word avidya, the opposite of avidya is vidya. Vidya means awareness, consciousness. So I've had moments like that as a singer where I'll be playing a song or the audience that there's such a good vibe in the room, and then all of a sudden there's like an absence of time. There's just a pure sense of oneness. And I think when people meditate for long hours, they're looking for that thing that we get in rock and roll if you really like what you're doing. We get it pretty quick. And that sense of oneness, I think, is more true, is I don't think, it's more true than any separation between us. And we have all more in common than we have what divides us. And so when we talk about the causes of suffering, part of this, the most important thing we can do with that idea is that if we work on our own suffering, then that's how the world gets better. You're not going to go out and save everybody. You can only save yourself. I know I sound like your mother now. Sorry. So avidya is the word that we use to reference unconsciousness, unawareness. And unawareness is how most of us live the day. Listen, here's the challenge, human being. You have 70 to 90,000 thoughts in a day. You have 20 to 22,000 breaths in a day. Your heart will beat 100,000 times today. That's a lot of work your little body's doing. But in order to, like, to make it better, outside, there's no outside. You have to only make it better inside. And that means coming to some sense of awareness. And what does awareness mean? Well, I mean, when we're doing, for me, the best sense of awareness comes is when I'm focusing on my breath. So that's why when people come into sessions and we do vocal sessions, the very first thing we do is we learn that there's a difference between the mouth and the voice. So the mouth is the thing like that's doing what I'm doing right now. This is mouth, using mouth. And it's useful. It's how we share information. It's how we function in the world. Mouth is good. Mouth drinks coffee. Cheers. And so we get that, and there are things that are in front of us in the mind that block the voice. If I have 7 kids, so when they were younger and I was singing, I would be worrying about them, even though we had great babysitters or my mom would help or whatever. But I would always, and so concerns for my children are always in front of the song. So I would maybe share that with my husband or my bandmate, and they would calm me down, and it would go on. And so I learned that if you have mind stuff happening, you cannot be in your song. You cannot authentically use your voice because you're not aware. You're all over the place. The other causes of suffering are super cool. I mean, if you super cool, if you know them, they cannot bite you in the ass, right? It's like awareness of awareness is the it levels you up. It allows you to feel less fear in the world, for sure. So there's what we're doing today, avidya, which is lack of consciousness, lack of awareness. And then avidya leads to ego, which is like identification with the mind as your entire self. Like you think you are you, this. And as you go along, you learn that nothing is separate. Like you're not a little island onto yourself. And so how you treat yourself has a direct impact on um, everything around you, including your relationships, nature, the whole thing, your choices. It's a good thing. So ego, identification with the mind, and then of course fear of the future. That's normal, or fear of not getting what you think you want in the future. And then there's fear of things that hurt you in the past repeating, which is super important because fear avoidance, that kind of thing, that is the way anxiety is created. And we start to make choices that limit us because we're unconsciously avoiding. Remember, we're having 70 to 90,000 thoughts in a day. That's a lot, but most of them are unconscious, right? Or else you'd go wacko. And those unconscious ones are the things that we've reinforced. And we reinforce things that protect us. We reinforce what protects us. So the number one fear of people who are in the Western world, I suspect this statistic, not in other cultural regions, but in the Western world, the number one fear that people have is public speaking. Above death, public speaking. So can you imagine their fear of singing is impossible because singing is public speaking naked, right? You're all emotions there. And so and in order to get that out of the way, we get the mouth out of the way. So the voice, the thing that tells you you're not enough, or my my mother was mean to me, or whatever, that's the perfect time to like put it on the mat, and then put it aside, and then see that you can be like more fully yourself once you've acknowledged that these things are in front of you. I know that sounds very deep, eh? More coffee. It's going to be okay. So avidya means awareness, and the way we arrive at awareness. Oh, and the reason I want to tell you something really important is if you do have stage fright, please know that you are a completely normal human being. And those of us who don't have stage fright, we are not normal. Okay, like I don't have stage fright, but the reason is because I grew up in very strange circumstances with a singer, with a one of my I was adopted, and my eldest one of my eldest sisters was a disco singer in the 70s. So I grew up like watching those stages and seeing what music could do. She had a tremendous authenticity to her. And so all I saw was somebody who like went up on stage and like barfed their heart out. I've never seen the opposite. I've never seen someone held back. And so for teaching has showed me like people who have gone through really deep experiences in their life, very often people are told like your words aren't important or be quiet or yeah, I don't want to hear you or whatever or through their life in one way or another. And that like protecting yourself from community rejection is an absolutely evolutionary fundamental Neanderthal thing in your bones. So it's the limbic system, the lizard brain, the part of the brain that evolved first. And that is your whole survival mechanism. So if you're at the microphone and you're afraid, that's because you're having a human experience. And and so what I love, I mean, I had horses for a long time. If you knew me, I had a farm, and John and I and the kids, we had a lot of wonderful horses. We did a lot of rehabilitation work. And um, what I learned and what the most important lesson a horse ever taught me was you can be afraid, but you don't have to let it stop you. And being afraid is fine, but you don't have to get all involved in it. You don't have to like jump in and go, "Oh, I am." No, you can say like, "This is causing me fear," or "This is fearful experience." Don't say you are fear. That's like saying you are chocolate ice cream. I mean, you aren't. And so you are not afraid. How we talk in our head is really important. That's the greatest awareness I've had recently is understanding that how I speak in my mind is incredibly important because it exactly translates out. I kind of feel like all of a sudden I feel like a computer digesting like what I put into my eyes and ears is what comes out. And so I've stopped watching negative and scary things and I've stopped saying judgmental negative things and all of a sudden my mind is like super much happier. So if it just takes that, like that's that's better than 27 years of therapy, I'm telling you. But that just came from the last session talking about kleshas, and I thought, "Okay, wait a minute." And then this morning, I'm setting up, and, like, every computer technical error is happening, and I can't figure it out because, like, I totally feel like this is what we're supposed to be doing together, inner voice community. If we're gonna find the outer voice, we have to find the inner voice. I mean, this is true. It's just true for everybody. It's not even singers, it's people who just wanna be able to speak a truth out, because we're all messed up inside. Even our breathing, even the way we breathe as human beings is a mess. Isn't that incredible? The I mean, we're like de-evolving. So I think that the only way to stay and evolve is by this inner work, finding like being aware of your life, not just bowling through it. I had this experience every time I say these things, I think about my birth family. When I discovered my paternal side, I discovered that he was biologically half American. And that was like a really weird experience for me because if you know me, you know I'm super political. I'm very French Canadian. I was adopted by my mother's side of the family, which I found out when I was 13. And and I loved everybody. Like I'm super grateful. I love my family. I don't have any problems. But it was cool to find my paternal side and to discover genetically where I come from. And then so I had an opportunity to spend a week with them in Florida. They had a little house there and had invited me up to meet some of the cousins who had known my father only until he was, like 12 years old, but whatever. And meeting anybody who could tell me stories about him would be cool. So I went up there and this whole thing, the awareness thing makes me think of my 1 week experience in a gated community in Florida, a gated trailer park with veterans, many veterans, all white. I had to walk 4 to 5 miles a day just to find anybody who wasn't white, and I had to because that was gonna make me wacko, this crazy place. And nobody recycled. So every day I saw like, I don't know, a dozen plastic bottles just heaping out of garbage pails. They don't think that taking care of the planet has anything to do with anything, and they really don't. They're not like bad people or mean people. They just don't. And so a lack of awareness fundamentally is a lack of acknowledgement or humility as to what and who you are and where we come from and what we live on. And that is like humans wake up, because we don't have time to waste on this kind of thing. Not at all. So, well, we haven't talked much since the second Trump administration came, as you can imagine. But what's really important is like just to be able to see even that I have compassion for, because they don't know better. If they knew better, they'd do better. I believe Maya Angelou's words. If you know better, you do better. Or when you know better, something. Anyway, that works. It's a good idea and it's true. When you know better, you do better. So it's not that people are mean, or it's that they're scared and they're making decisions based on fear of past trauma, fear of future anxiety, identification with the mind, and me. It's all me. And then you feel alone. Loneliness is a pandemic on this planet. When people are being difficult, it's or nasty or whatever. I don't know. Maybe they're just testing their oppositeness, and we all have the ability to be both. I know I have been both. Well, I hope that you are having a great day. Now, I know that I'm recording this because we're just starting, and also because it's 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning. What am I, crazy? What are you doing, Josee? But the reason is that the way we start our day is really important. In the vocal classes, remember I said the first 5 minutes of your day and the last 5 minutes of your day. Those are the most important times because they set up everything. And when you get into a cycle of starting off with just a word, AVIDYA, or we want to get to vidya. We want to get to vidya, or you are at vidya the minute you. So that's what we're focusing on today. And so the bridge between the mind and vidya is the breath. And so today we're going to just do a simple breath work. We're going to do. I haven't even thought about this part. I don't want to prepare things too much. This isn't like a scripted thing. This is like human to human, which I think we need right now. Well, I do. Anyway, it keeps me studying. Good. So let's do a breath work of awareness. Okay, so you'll notice I start all breath work in the body, just coming into the body, becoming aware of where you are in the world. I mean, think about yourself right now. This is a really cool idea, okay? So you're sitting wherever in your kitchen, okay, and think about yourself. Now you're in your house, okay? Now you're on your street. Look at how small you're getting. Now you're in your town. Oh boy. And that, like, you can picture all the other little people, like little lights in the world, So all of a sudden you're shrinking. Now you're in your country. Oh boy. Now you're on your continent. And now you're in your planet. So it's really cool. Like when we think about how small we are in terms of it all, and yet how much power we have when we take control of stuff like our breath, which is our prana, life force, right? It's pretty cool. Okay. Sitting up straight, feet are on the floor, seat is on the seat. Inhaling now so that your ribs go sideways. I want to inhale so the belly comes out. Sorry, my camera's not great. So the belly comes out and the ribs go sideways, but you can see my shoulders won't move. So inhale through your nose. Expand. Hold at the top of your breath. Relax your body around the tension and exhale. Let's do that again. Inhale fully. Hold your breath. Feel the tension inside. Relax anyway. And exhale. Life is never going to be perfect. There's going to be tension. There's going to be stuff. You're not here for Disneyland. So relax around the tension. Inhale. Exhale, like you have a straw in your mouth. Inhale fully in the belly. Exhale. Moment of awareness. Inhaling in the nose. Feel the cold air go in. Exhale through the mouth. Just think about the tip of your nose now and the cold air. Inhale. Hold your breath. Relax. Exhale. Pull in the belly button into the spine. Inhale. Hold the breath. Exhale. Inhale fully. Exhale completely. Today, we're just going to do quickly awareness of all the places you can have air in your body. So now you're going to inhale in your belly through your nose. Inhale in your chest through your nose. Inhale in your neck through your mouth. Inhale in your head. Fill it up one more time. Hold that. That's full. And let it go. That's what I call staged breathing. So inhale, belly, chest, neck, head. Top it up. Exhale. And the last trick for today for an awareness moment is when you exhale, if you do, your brain actually hears relax. Cool. So let's inhale belly, chest, neck, head, top it up, and sigh it out. Again, belly, chest, neck, head, top, sigh it out. Nice. Inhale. Exhale through your mouth. Let's do a counted breath now. Inhale, Om 1, Om 2, Om 3, Om 4, and retain. Exhale, Om 8, Om 7, Om 6, Om 5, Om 4, Om 3, Om 2, Om 1. Inhale, Om 1, Om 2, Om 3, Om 4, and retain. Exhale, Om 8, Om 7, Om 6, Om 5, Om 4, Om 3, Om 2, Om 1. Inhale, Om 1, Om 2, Om 3, Om 4, and retain. Exhale, Om 8, Om 7, Om 6, Om 5, Om 4, Om 3, 2, Om 1. Inhale, Om 1, Om 2, Om 3, Om 4, and retain. Exhale, Om 8, Om 7, Om 6, Om 5, Om 4, Om 3, Om 2, Om 1. Full inhale. Exhale. Inhale now and hold your breath. And gently now, just acknowledge all the muscles in your face and your jaw. Relax the jaw, relax the cheeks, relax your forehead. Listen to the world around you and don't be involved. Exhale. Inhale again. Exhale. The best way for awareness is inhale through your nose, feel the cold air, and exhale through your nose. Feel the warmer air. And throughout your day today, take a moment to inhale and exhale. And when someone asks you what you're up to, just say, inhaling, exhaling. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for hanging out with me. Today was AVIDYA. So keep that word in your mind and just be aware of your awareness, because you'll find you might have a happier day. Thanks, guys. And peace out to the Inner Voice community and all the great people who have been sending me nice notes and practicing and giving me feedback on their practices. I really appreciate that. And so if you have any ideas or questions, please send me a note in the bottom, or you can find me on Facebook with Practical Singing, Josee Brault. You can find me on YouTube. Thanks. Peace. See you soon.